The question for the day is, how could I magnetize something? How could I take a screw or maybe a screwdriver and get them to be magnetized so that I can use it in some application I have? And I have two methods that I'm going to share with you on how we can do that. The first is using a magnet to magnetize a piece of metal. The second is creating an electromagnet. We'll use a couple of these finishing nails that are made of steel and are not yet magnetic, but can be made that way. So let's get into it and see how that works out. Let's first talk about how we make something magnetic using a magnet. I've got some of my finishing nails here. I'm going to take a few out and just set them on my table. And I'm going to show you that they are not magnetic currently. They don't have any magnetic powers, but I'm going to go ahead and stick one on a magnet. It's just a simple refrigerator magnet, and I'm just going to set it on there. I'm going to let it sit for about 15 minutes or so and see what it looks like. So after the 15 minutes, we can see that it becomes somewhat magnetic. And I can touch it to another one of my nails and you can see that it's picking it up. It is a little bit magnetic after a short amount of time, but I'm going to let it sit for longer because I really want to see it come together. So I'm going to let it sit for like a couple of hours. After a couple of hours, we take it off the magnet again and we see that it is truly magnetic at this point. It doesn't take much to pick up something. So just sitting it on the magnet for a period of time made it magnetic. Now let's talk about how to make an electromagnet using a battery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a copper wire and wrap it around one of my nails. That copper wire then I'm going to attach to a battery. The battery is just a AA battery, 1.5 volts, not a big deal. It should be enough to give me something. So I'll just touch up one end here with the positive, one end to the negative, and that's all I have to do. And you can see that as an electromagnet, I can pick up a nail like this. It's pretty cool, right? But you can't just take the nail out after a few minutes and have it work. You have to let it sit for a while. So after a longer period of time, and we're talking several hours here, of the battery just creating an electromagnetic field around the nail, now we just take the nail out of the coil, and look at that, it became magnetic too. That's pretty cool, isn't it? In a very simple way, we came up with two ways to magnetize something. It's really, really simple, isn't it? We can take a piece of metal and magnetize it or create our own electromagnet. Science for the win!